That's the mass airflow sensor there. Yeah, dirty great big thing on these. This is the one that came off the donor. I swapped this one out because I thought this was a problem before. Maybe the problem wasn't this mass airflow sensor. I'm going to swap this sensor back in. I'm just going to cheat here. I'm going to change the whole top of the airbox with the mass airflow sensor on it. Don't lose that clip. Like I said, I'm going to cheat. Alright, so you just get the clip back in there like that, and then just push it on. Will it start? I don't know, we'll soon find out. Okay, let's see what happens. Fired, no problem. Alright, just let it warm up and see what it does. Alright, that's at operating temperature. Alright, well that stutter right off idle is back, which is definitely that mass airflow sensor. Revving fairly freely. I suppose all I really need to do now is just take it for a drive, see what it does. Probably won't do anything until I've had it in the dirt and give it a flogging, and then it'll have a hissy fit. I'm probably going to go arse up here. Well, that was a bit of a fail. Really want to be doing a big wheel lift this time. See if I can get around that. Oh, no, going straight into it. All right. Oh, let's start. And it would have helped if I'd have actually turned the record on. Alright, let's see if I can get out of this. Got a little bit more right foot, I think. And it fucking stalled it. Well, there you go. I've actually made it do something that it shouldn't be doing. Coughing and spluttering, and the idle's fine. They want to take off for me. Don't know what's going on there yet. Well, let's see what it does. Big thanks to Derek, who pointed out that it could be the fuel tank venting system, which this is part of. So I tested it. So this is the purge line back to the tank. And that seems to be venting quite nicely. Not getting much up through that purge line. I think this canister's blocked. Could this be what's causing the problems? So I do have this other canister here. Let's see what that does. Through the purge line, I can feel a bit of air coming back. So we'll just go through the purge line here and see if it blows out through the drain. Absolutely, that's working. I did stop after about 20 kilometres yesterday. I had about a half a tank of fuel, and I thought I'll fill this thing right up. I'll do both tanks. I'll do the main tank, which is 95 litres, another 50, roughly 50 litres for the sub tank, which I'd never filled. I wanted to see if that was the gauges were working on that. They're not. But when I opened the tank to fill it, there was a massive amount of pressure in there. Hopefully this is going to sort that part of the problem out, and that could give us the symptoms that we've been seeing as well, apart from the MAF that I know that's in it at the moment is not good. So cheers, Derek, thanks for that one. That was a good call. And Robert, I don't think there's a frog in the tank blocking the pickup, but that was an interesting idea as well. All right, so that's, just had a rough cleanup. We'll whack that in and see what result we get. Oh, so the charcoal canister's replaced. Hopefully that's going to eliminate part of the problem we've got here. I just need to change that back out. The other MAF sensor's been swapped back in. I've given all the terminals inside this plug a bit of a clean-up. Any sort of luck, she's going to run right now, I hope. Otherwise, I'm going to have to chase down other things. Actually, when I had this MAF out, I just had a look at the inside too. Inside that MAF is pretty dirty. It could use a good clean. We'll take it out for a run again and see how we go. Well, that's a good sign. All the dash lights turned off. I've just pulled up Eberlu and I'm just going to see whether this is building pressure in the tank again. Nowhere near what it was. That's good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Definitely that charcoal canister was absolutely stuffed. I said earlier that the sub-tank gauge wasn't working. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it is. Yoo-hoo! I may not have to replace all those senders and pumps and stuff. There is a lot more evidence of people getting stuck in this. I don't think I should have too much trouble with that. I doubt very much that I'll get through this section in high range. Absolutely not. Well, you know what? I'm diffing out and I'm getting stuck on that spare tyre, so I'll just get the Max Tracks out, see if I can drag myself out of this. Should help a little bit. Well, that is a bit proper stuck. Maybe if I go for traction on both fronts. That was interesting. Part of the problem was this thing's starting to misfire again, so I don't think I've solved the problem yet. When it did run sort of right there, it did climb out, so can't complain too much. Well, that was almost a disaster, but I got out. That was my own stupid fault. I tried to turn in a bit too early and drop the arse into the hole. But I got myself out of it, didn't have to ring anyone. All right, let's head up to the quarry. All right, so I've made it up to the quarry again. I'm not going to do any hill climbs this time. I'm just, I'm here to prove this, whether it's working properly or not, and I've already proved that it's not. It is stalling at the most inopportune times, actually. This time when I got stuck there, just back there. Part of the reason I couldn't get out easily was that I was losing power. If I was able to put the power to the ground, then it probably would have worked all right, so who knows. I suppose what I should do when I get back is see if it's thrown any codes. See if it actually wants to tell me what's wrong. It might not. Last time I checked codes and it was obviously something wrong, it showed me nothing. There was no codes, so let's see what it does this time. Yeah, it was definitely getting stuck on that friggin' spare tyre. I'm just going to have to pull that out of there. That's just not going to be a happening thing. Well, I can't see any specific damage. It did bottom the diff out. Doesn't look like it's damaged today. There's no oil leaks. All right, let's get this thing back home, see if it does the obligatory fail at the gate. The Christmas tree is back again. Let's turn it off and turn it back on again, see if they come straight back on. Yeah, they come straight back on, so I think it should give me a code. It's got to give me a code. I hope it gives me a code, then I know where to look. Well, here's something. If my alternator's charging properly, that should be at 13.8 to 14.4 volts, and it's only showing 12.2, so maybe the alternator's the problem. We're almost back down to the gate, so I'll pull up down here and see if anything's come loose on the alternator. Hopefully it is just a wire. I don't want to have to change it. It's not that hard to do, but you know, I don't want to have to do it. Here we are at the gates, and I'm just going to pull up here in the shade, see if I can see anything obvious. Alternator's not giving me a whole lot of juice, so I'll shut it down. Let's have a look. I'm just going to check to see whether there is any pressure built up inside of this fuel tank again. Oh, nothing. Absolutely brilliant. Let's see why I got no electrics. Hopefully just the wires come off or something. Oh, it's all tight. There's nothing obvious. Well, I made it back. Just coughed and spluttered the whole way this time. The alternator has definitely crapped the bed, and hopefully that's going to be the crux of the problem. I'm just going to check, see if there's any codes in this thing. Hopefully there is. So to do that, the paper clip, bridge out TE1 and E1 terminals. That puts it into diagnostic mode. Turn the ignition on, see what happens. Will it give me any codes? So the check engine light flashes to give you the numbers, and that constant flashing that doesn't turn off means there's no codes. Damn it. Well, I've got the other alternator here. They came out of the donor. It's just nice having an extra vehicle. Next step, I'll chuck that in. That should at least sort out the charging issue. Hopefully the charging issue is what's causing all these other issues. I'm not holding my breath though. So this vid's already pretty long, so I'm going to say cheers, bye, catch you later. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one.